right? Let us continue our discussion on the strings aspect. Okay, so can you guys just tell me where did we stop in the previous discussion? We started with methods. Did we talk about S alpha? Is alpha numeric? Is alpha num?
Yes, sir.
Okay, format also I guess we saw. Okay, so let us see some examples continuing forward with the string methods. Let us talk about upper and lower. So this is very simple. So guess what? What is upper? What is lower? Students, what does upper do? Let us start with upper. So SSN is a literal, right? It's already in uppercase. So let me have it in lowercase. So SSN in upper will give me the uppercase of the string letter. Okay. So similarly, lowercase will give me, or lower will give me the lowercase of the string. So that is upper, lower. We have swap case. Swap case, guess what, guys?
Toggle case kind of, sir.
Pardon?
It's like similar to toggle case.
Yeah, it's something like a toggle case. So if I have yes and then n this way, right? So if I do a swap case, right? So it is all toggle. Upper is lower, lower is upper, and then upper is lower, right? So as I said, it is a signal or it is a method that is used to toggle the case. Correct. Then we have title. What is title, guys?
Makes the first one upper and rest lower.
Correct. So if I have hello world, you have H as capital. So that is title. Okay. There is a related method which is sometimes used, right? Not much of the time, but it is available, which is called as case fold, which is similar to lower. Can you guys guess what is case fold?
Change upper to lower and lower to upper.
It is exactly like case fold is similar to lower, but it is more aggressive in nature. Okay, so if you want to do caseless comparisons, right, typically you make use of case fold, right, and it is much more aggressive, right? When you make use of different alphabets from different languages, right, you can make use of case fold. Say, for example, if I want to show you, I have just copied and pasted some German characters here. So what is this German character? This is your Strasse symbol, right? When you say Strasse in German, right, SS, right? So this is how it is expressed in German, right? So let us see an example. All right. So if I have that symbol, if I copy it, right? It's not this, it's this. Okay. Okay, if I print this literal, right? See, this is this. But case fold is much more aggressive. So when you do, see, this is already in lowercase, right? In German, it is already in lowercase, right? So if you do a dot lower, by the way, like what is this symbol? Anybody idea? What does it mean in German?
It symbolizes two S's together.
Yeah, it's something like two S's together, correct. So when you say a lower, guys, right, on this symbol, right, what do you think the output will be?
Same.
Pardon?
The same one.
Yeah, the same one, right? So as I said, like case fold is much more aggressive, right? If you do a case fold, right, it gives SS.
Okay.
All right, so that is case fold, right? So it is used for caseless comparison and it is much more aggressive. Okay. So the next method is starts with. So let me have a string, say, called as SSN College of Engineering. Now you can make use of starts with, right, as one of the method for searching the string, right, that starts with a particular substring. Okay, so you can say x dot starts with, right. Now, okay, let me start with a lowercase ssn. Right now, this is case sensitive. So when I say x dot starts with ssn, right, it is false. Okay, and when you say ssn, it is true. Right. Similarly, you have ends with, right, and say if I say ring, right, it is true. Right. So since it is case sensitive, ends with is also case sensitive. If I stick with capital R, right, it is false. Alright, so this is one or two methods that are available, right, for searching a substring within a string. Apart from starts with and ends with, you also have find and rfind that you can make use of, right? Now, unlike starts with and ends with, right, find and rfind, right, does not give you a Boolean value, rather it gives you a index position. Okay, so the difference between find and rfind is find starts from the beginning of the string, right? Rfind starts from the end of the string, right? So let us see an example. So if we say x dot find and find the substring something like say off, right? It gives me the index position, right? The difference is if I do a rfind, right? It is also the same index position, but the difference is it starts from the end, right? Starts searching from the end. Here, guys.
Sir,
Yes.
uh, what if you give a letter which is not in the string?
Give a letter which is not in the string. Say X, right? It's -1.
Okay. And one more doubt, sir.
Yes.
It starts with should we like write the uh, first word or first alphabet? If we write the first alphabet also, it will give true, sir.
Yeah, it could be either a single letter or a combination of letters. Even a single letter is considered as a string.
Okay.
So if I say capital S or small s, right? Since it is case sensitive, it is -1.
Not in this, sir. In starts with.
Okay, and starts with. Okay, starts with say S. It is okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and here I have put two more characters that you guys can check, right? So these two characters actually represent your small s in German, right? Both are small s kind of, right? Sigma, I guess. But the point here is, okay, let us see that as well. Let me just copy this. See, guys, this literal, if I compare it with this literal, right, it is false, right? Whereas if I just print this literal, right, this is this, right? And if I print the other literal, okay, now if I do a comparison with case fold, since they have similar meaning in German, so if I do a case fold, it's more aggressive and says the result is true. Okay. So that was case fold starts with find or find, right? And then you can also make use of in, right? To search a substring within a string, right? So if I can say we have X as Assistant College of Engineering, We have already seen the membership operator, guys. Now, can you tell me how you can search for a substring, right, within X using the in operator? Say you want to search for the substring ring within SSN College of Engineering using the in operator. How can you do that?
If ring.
Why if and all?
Yes.
Now, I am here in the REPL prompt. We are not writing the complete program. Now that we know how to write complete program and test it out, this for these small things, we can just make use of the REPL and see if it works or not. So just tell me using the in operator, how will you do? I just want to search for ring in this particular string. So the substring ring in the string X, right? So if it is available, it gives me true.
Okay, sir.
Okay, anybody else? Any doubts so far?
Sir, the previous example that we given about when these we compared the two German letters,
Correct.
how were they equal?
Pardon?
So how were they equal? So when you use the aggressive,
If you look into the German thing, right, just check for the meaning of this and this. This actually represents the small case yes or the sigma character. How do you represent sigma? Sigma in German is your actual sigma character, right? You know German? I do not know German. I just looked up into the internet. So the sigma character in lowercase, it has got two similar variations. Both refer to the same sigma character in lowercase. This character and this character. Hence, it is more aggressive and case fold says true. Getting it? So this one thing I just searched so that I can show you the exact kind of difference when you do this and when you do this. Although aggressively it is the same thing, but when you compare the literals as such by itself, right, it says false.
they mean the same thing in German.
Correct.
Okay, okay.
Anything else, guys? Okay, so starts with, ends with find or find n, and then we have replace, right? Replace, what does it do? With the name replace, what can you guess, guys? Any guesswork? Replaces? Yeah, it is used to replace a substring within a string, or it is used to replace any particular character or a set of characters within a particular string with the string that you want to replace, right? So let us see an example. So if I have SSN College of Engineering, so let me do a replace on this. So I call x dot replace and then specify the thing that I want to replace, right? Say for example, I want to replace SSN College of Engineering. So let me replace College of Engineering, say, okay, with the string, say institutions. Right, so that is replace. The next method is count. Count gives you the number of occurrences of a particular substring within a string, right? Say for example, if I say x dot count, if I say small s, right? What do you think will be the output? There is no small s here. Is it case sensitive or insensitive?
Insensitive.
Insensitive, right? So it says S is not defined. Okay, S is a variable I passed incorrectly. Right? It says 0. Right? So there is no S. Right? So there is no count. Now if I go back and say x dot count of capital S, what is the answer?
2.
2. Great. Now if I say a space, what is the answer?
3.
3.
3, sir.
Okay. Now if I say E, what is the answer?
4.
Is it 4 or 3?
4, sir.
4, sir.
It is 4. Now if I say E,
1.
I think once, sir.
great. That is count, right? We talked about count, replace, in, find, or find. Right? So far, so good, guys. And then we have split and join that you guys can make use of, right? Split is used to actually split your particular string, right, into substrings, right? All individual substrings contained in a list or essentially an array. Okay, so join is just the opposite of split. We have seen join in the previous class also with a simple example when we tried making use of list comprehension, right? So join is the opposite of split, right? It joins the entire substrings that are available in the array or the list, right, into a single string, right? And you can specify a delimiter there also. So let us see an example. So if I say x is equal to SSN College of Engineering, okay, so let us do a split on x. So, right, and then you can do a split here, right? So how do you split? Say, let me split this x, right, on the space, right? So what will I get? I will get an individual array wherein I will have 1, 2, 3, 4 elements, right? Or a list, to be more precise, a list, right? So if I do this, right, I get a list. Okay, now join is the opposite of split, right? So let me do a join and then join SSN College of Engineering. So let me have this x dot split in a variable, say y, right? And then I can say dot join. Okay, so to join, let me join the array, right, on an empty string. So join and then say y, right? So this is SSN College of Engineering now without a space. Now if you join, you want to have a join or with a space, right? You can specify a space here.
So join is used to convert a string to an list
A
to a
list.
string, sir.
Correct. It joins all the items within the array or the list into a single string.
Will it join the tuple alone?
Pardon?
Can it join the elements in tuple, sir?
Can it join the elements in a tuple? Let us see. Okay, let me have a string. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, good question. So that was join. And then let us see another method. Make trans and translate. Okay, now this both methods are generally used together, right? And it is similar to your replace, right? But rather than using replace, right, make trans and translate can be used to kind of create a translation table, right? And replace your individual occurrences of any substring, right, with any particular translation that you have done in the translation table. So that is make trans and translate. Let us see an example to understand better so that we get a feel of what is the difference between make trans, translate and replace. Say for example, I have x, which is 1, 2, 3. Let me replace this with again okay. So what does this make trans do? Make trans so you can operate on a string, right? Or you can operate on the string class itself, right? str dot make trans, right? And specify the things that you want to translate with what. Okay, so essentially what you're doing here is you're creating a translation table kind of, right? Say for example, for illustration, let me say I want to, sorry, I want to replace these characters, say O and E, that is occurring 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, so let me say take this O and E, and I want to create a translation table wherein I want to replace the occurrence of O, here in this case only one occurrence. I want to replace the occurrence of O with @ and E with say hash, right? So what this will do is it will replace the occurrence of O with this @ and E with hash in the string, right? And you specify this entire translation table to your original string, right? So we have our original string. So let us have this in a variable so that we can pass it to our original string. Say this is y. Okay, so this is essentially a two-step process, right? Then you can say x dot translate, right, and pass in y. Okay, so this, as you can see here, right, O is @ and E is replaced with hash 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. Understanding, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is this has a tight relationship with replace. It is also doing a replace, but it is much more precise. Okay. That is all for today. Okay. Maybe let us see a couple of more methods since we have some more time. We'll talk about slicing tomorrow since it will take some more time. Okay, so before we actually conclude the session, let me illustrate two more methods, right? For justification, right? One is called as left adjust or just, I don't know, I just forgot, left adjust. And right adjust, it is just, I guess, for justification. Let us see if it is right or wrong. So you have got methods for left justification, right justification, and center justification. For center, it is center. Right, so let us see these three methods as well. Right. So what is X now? X is SSN College of Engineering. So let me take this X and then left justify with L just. right? And rather than having a very long string, let me say x is equal to SSL, right? Okay, here you can pass in two parameters, right? One is the number of spaces, right? Say this is already
Sir,
3.
you left J.
Huh?
You left J, sir.
J, yeah,
Just.
just okay. So x dot L just, and then you can specify the spacing, right? By number of which it should be left justified. See, the similar kind of method we have also seen, if you can remember, with another aspect. Can you tell me what? Let me show you the output first and then you recall and tell me. So if I say left just and specify space, so this is how many characters wide? 1, 2, 3. So if I say 7, say for example, right? So if I see the output here, right? This is left justified, right? And you have got the spaces here, totally 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remaining are all spaces, right? So we have seen a similar kind of thing with another aspect that does the same thing. What was that?
Left shift, right shift.
Yes.
Can you be more precise? Is it
Bitwise shift.
huh?
Bitwise shift.
Is it bitwise operator? Bitwise operator operates only on integers, right?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So this is a kind of formatting method that we have seen in one of our introductory classes.
The
Wherein,
placeholder
remember,
colon.
yeah, placeholder, and then you specify a colon and then a number that gives you the
Yes.
character width, right? There you can left and right adjust appropriately. The same output you will get. So those are the aspects that we have already seen with a concept called as format specifiers. Right now, the same thing is available in the form of a method as well. They are called as left justified, right justified, and center. Right now, if you do a right justification, right, you can see the spaces. Right now, if I do a center, okay. Before that, let me come here. You can see the spaces here. So this method optionally also accepts another parameter that you can specify just in case if you want to fill the empty spaces with some kind of character. Say for example, let me fill this with asterisks. Okay, so totally 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. So similarly, right adjust. All right, and then you have center. Here also you can specify the optional second parameter. So this looks like this way. Understood, guys? Okay, students, so that is all for today's session. Let us stop here and continue in the next class. So before we wind up,
Sir.
yes?
Sir, if it was center and bracket was 6 comma asterisk, what will happen, sir? Even number.
6 comma
First.
asterisk, one asterisk will be removed, right?
From the left or from the right, sir?
From the left, from the left.
Why is it so only from the left?
Pardon?
Why is it only from the left? Why can't it be from the right? This is the way it works.
Yeah, it is by default, it is the way it works.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Anything else? See, if you want to remove from the right or if you want to remove from somewhere else, that is also possible. Things could be done, but this is out of the box how the method behaves from left to right. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Anything else, guys, on the methods that we have seen so far? We will have one more session on strings and then we will be done with strings and then we will revisit our iterations aspect once again and we will be done with unit 3. Okay, so before we wind up, let me just give you a small information. Coming 27th, I guess, right? So coming 27th for the lab class, I'm not available. So students, please join with your other staff member, Purnima madam.
Sir, even the ones the ones under you, we have to join.
Yeah. Because 27th I'm on leave. I'm out of station.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So guys, we have some more time left, right? So if you have any questions to ask, we can have discussion. Otherwise, we can stop.